Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Madison. If you're new here, I am a first year second grade teacher, and today's video will be all about how I survive on a teacher's budget. So today's video, I just want to keep it really real, raw, and transparent with you guys, like I'm just chatting with a few friends. I get questions all the time over on Instagram. I get DMs constantly asking me, how do you survive on a teacher's budget? Can you give me any tips? I get people asking me, what do you make as a teacher? Which, by the way, people should stop asking teachers that. I get asked that way too often, and I don't go around asking what you make. And I get questions from younger kids saying, you know, I'm going into college and I'm thinking about going into education. I want to be a teacher really bad, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to survive on a teacher's budget. What do I do? So first of all, it is totally livable on a teacher's budget. Is it the most comfy, and are you able to just spend money on whatever you want? No, you have to be really conscious with your money and really smart with your money, but it is possible. I'm 24 years old, I live on my own, I don't have any help from my parents, and I am living just fine. However, I do have some tips and tricks for you guys, and there's a lot of things that go into how I survive on my own so comfortably. So I just want to start off by saying, you know, teaching is a work of the heart. You know, you don't go into it for the money, and I went into it very well knowing what I was getting myself into. I knew I was not going to be rolling in dollar bills every day. I knew I was not going to be just like thriving and rich and living my best life. That is not why I went into it. I went into it because it was something that I could truly see myself doing. It was something that I had the heart for, and it is not a job for everybody. You know, I think a lot of people go into teaching and they realize really quick, wow, this isn't a job for me, which that's totally fine. But if you do go into teaching, just know that, you know, if it's something that you have a passion for, then it's the job for you, because it's not a job that you go into for the money or the lifestyle or anything like that. It's truly just something that you go into because you want to make a difference in other people's lives and because it makes you happy. So just a little side note before I get into this video. So I live in Missouri, and Missouri is known for paying their teachers less than other states. I know I've read an article that was talking about how Missouri pays way less than other states, and I'm pretty sure they pay like an average like $6,000 less than other teachers make in other states. So that's fun. But I will say Missouri does have a way lower cost of living. It's way more affordable to live in Missouri than other states, and it's just a great place to live. So I definitely make less than other teachers in surrounding states. So depending on where you live, if your cost of living is higher, obviously you are going to get paid a little bit more. I live in the Midwest, and if you live in the Midwest area, you know that the cost of living is a little bit lower, so teachers are going to get paid lower. So that's just something to keep in mind when taking into account what I do for saving and when it comes to my bills and all of that stuff. So also, I am no expert at this. I have had to take notes and kind of practice what I was going to say before I made this video, because I'm still learning. You know, I taught half a year last year. This is my first full year, and I'm still learning how to live on my own, live with my own money, and survive on a teacher's salary. So I'm just giving you guys tips that, oh hey girl, what are you doing? So I'm just giving you guys all the tips that I can for what I have learned so far, and obviously I'm going to learn as I go, and if there's anything that I miss, feel free to leave some advice down below, because I'm sure a lot of teachers or students will be reading these comments. So definitely leave below any advice that you have for how you live on a teacher's salary if you currently are. So first I want to talk about my bills and everything that I have to pay for monthly. So my biggest bill that I have every month goes towards my student loans. So I can make a whole video about student loans and I can rant about it for days, but I took out a lot of student loans when it came to paying for college and housing in college, and I definitely have some regrets when it comes to how many student loans I took out, and I can make a whole video on that if you guys would like to hear me kind of talk about my experience with student loans. However, for this video, I will just say I do have quite a bit of student loans to pay off, And so that is probably my biggest monthly bill. So I have my student loans to pay off, then my next highest bill is rent, and I do live with my boyfriend, so we split rent, which is really nice. So if you can get yourself a roommate, that is a huge tip that will cut down on rent for sure. Next highest bill would be my car payment. I bought a new car a little over a year ago because my car that I've had since I was 16 completely broke down on me, so I had to buy a new car, and so I will be paying that off for the next 5 years. So I have that car payment. Then other than those three, those are my highest bills. Other than that, I am just paying for groceries and gas and eating out and activities that I want to do and other things that I want to spend my money on. My first tip for you guys is to make a budget. This is super important, and this is something I learned a little too late on when it came to living on a teacher's salary. Since we don't just have money flying around everywhere, and nobody really does, let's be real, we have to make a budget, and I am very bad at this. I have learned from my mistakes, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I just started making budgets and it has helped me out so much, so I'm going to tell you guys kind of what I do. So every month I make a budget, and I write down my phone, or I have like paper that I write it down on, and I just write down how much I'm going to be making for that month. So I'll write down exactly how much I know I'm going to be making for the month, and then I will write down from my must-pay bills down to like my activities or anything that I just want to pay, like optional payments for the month. So I'll start off by writing how much I make on the top of the page, and then I will list everything that I need to pay for the month. So starting off with bills, because those are my must-dos. I have to pay those off the first of the month. So I will typically write down my student loan amount, how much I have to pay, my car payment and my rent and all of those things, and I will typically write down how much money I have after the money gets taken out for those, because those have to get taken out the first of the month anyway. So I kind of act like that money is just gone the first of the month. That money gets taken out, and then what I have left is my remaining money for the month. And then after that, I go ahead and I kind of make a budget for myself of how much I can spend on other things. So when it comes to groceries, maybe I'll put $200 for the month. Then gas, maybe $50 for the month. And then it comes to eating out or other activities or whatever you do. Maybe you have a gym membership or you like to do workout classes. Any of that stuff, just write out exactly how much you think is going to cost for the month, and then kind of calculate how much money you'll have left over. And so the great thing about this is that if you don't spend that much, then you have that extra money towards the end of the month. And the key to making a budget is to give yourself a cushion so that you have extra money. You don't want to, and I'm saying this because I've learned from my own mistakes. You don't want to get to the end of the month and be like, oh, I have no money left. That's not good, and that's not a comfortable way to live. You want to have it so that you have a little cushion at the end of the month and you have some money left over. I hope that kind of makes sense. Basically, just make a budget, track how much you make, and track how much you'll have by the end of the month, and then that extra money left over is what you can spend on things you enjoy and things you want to buy, not things that you need to buy. So my second tip for you guys is to look into multiple streams of income. So this is huge for me, something that I've just kind of realized this year actually. And I know it seems kind of like, well, how can I make extra money? Like, what can I do? And I thought for the longest time that that was not in the cards for me. I thought, no, like I don't have anything else that I can do. There's nothing that I can make money from on the side. Teaching is all I do. But there are so many ways. Just when you set your mind to something, you can do anything, and that's something I really realized. And you are worthy of receiving more money, so let that money come into your life. I fully believe in the power of manifestation and abundance, and if you set your mind to it and you believe in yourself and believe that you are worth making extra money, you are worth having that multiple stream of income, then it will come to you. And so that is something I have kind of had to work into my life over the past few months. So I will start by telling you guys kind of what my multiple streams of income are. Obviously, my highest stream of income monthly is from teaching. Then after teaching, I would say my highest stream of income comes from YouTube. So it is definitely possible to make money on YouTube. I get questions like, do you actually make money from that? Yes, and you can make money doing something you love, and that's the great thing about these multiple streams of income. think about what you love, what you're good at, and what you enjoy doing, and start thinking of ways that you can make money from it. So I have always loved YouTube. I have always wanted to start a YouTube channel, and this year I kind of just bit the bullet and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. And I did not go into it thinking I was going to make any money at all, like at all. So I am really happy that I made the decision to start, because not only has it got me out of my comfort zone, I am doing something that I've always wanted to do. I enjoy doing it. I love the process of filming. I love the process of editing and creating and everything about it. And then within this last couple months, I have found that I can actually make money from it as well. And so that is really great. So is it a livable income right now? No, but it definitely helps monthly to have that extra income from YouTube. And my third stream of income is from Teachers Pay Teachers. So I say TPT a lot on my page. If you're not familiar, TPT stands for Teachers Pay Teachers. And that is a website where you can create different products and resources for other teachers and you can sell them. So I never thought that I would have a TPT. I again kind of thought down on myself. I thought I wasn't worth having a TPT and that people wouldn't buy my products, and you know, that kind of thinking gets you nowhere. So if you are using your own products, then you never know, people might want them too. So I just started putting my own products on there. I put a lot on there for free, and then I was like, you know, maybe I'll start charging just a couple of dollars here and there, and that really adds up, and people started buying my products, and that extra income has helped so much. So you are capable of starting a Teachers Pay Teachers too. Of course, you don't have to. There is no reason for you to think that I have to do any of these things. Again, find what you love, find what you enjoy doing, and see how you can make an extra income from it. Another stream of income for myself over summers is to get an extra job. So I know this doesn't sound very fun, and you definitely don't have to get a second job to be able to survive on a teacher's salary, but for me personally, it has helped so much. So this summer, especially since we have been out of school since March and we weren't going back to school until September, I was thinking, you know what, I'm kind of bored, I'm stuck at home, I don't mind, you know, getting out of the house and working and meeting other people, and obviously the extra money is just kind of a bonus. So I decided to kind of just put myself out there, and I got a job at a restaurant and I served for a couple months and I loved it. Now I just kind of put that on pause since teaching is starting. I may not be working at that second job much, maybe just like on the weekends here and there, but it's definitely a good idea for over summer or any breaks you have to kind of get that side job money, and it definitely helps when saving money or just adding it to pay to your bills. So those are my multiple streams of income. So all of those together makes it so that I do definitely live pretty comfortable. Obviously, I still have to think and be very conscious about my spending habits, and I can't just be going and like spending dollars wherever I want. I have to be conscious about it, and I have to, you know, just be smart about where I'm spending my money and what I need to be spending my money on, which my classroom setup has been taking all my money. If you guys have been watching my videos, I have been setting up my new classroom. I have those videos all linked down below if you would like to watch them. So my next and final tip for you guys is to live below your means. So this kind of goes along with other tips that I have just previously said, but it is really important that when you start making money that you aren't just thinking, oh, I have X amount of money a month, so that's how much I can spend. No, that's a bad way to look at it. Really, you should just think of that as, okay, that's how much money I have coming into my life right now, so how can I keep it? How can I keep that much money? And so live below your means. So it took me a long time to realize this as well, but there are things that you just really don't need in life. And going throughout college, I was really careless with my spending, and I just bought whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I just didn't really think about the consequences of that. So I'm still learning. I'm not perfect. Do I spend money on things I don't need? Of course. I'm still learning. So it's gonna take time, but just from what I have learned, I would say live below your means. Really think about it before you purchase something. Do you need it? Is it something that will make your life better? Sometimes whenever I put something into a cart, if I'm like online shopping, I'll keep it there and I'll come back to it like a week later or a couple days later, and by the time a couple days later when I look at the cart, I'm like, oh, I don't definitely need that. Like, it's just kind of like an impulse buy. I'm a very impulsive person and I often impulsively buy things, so I feel you on that if you're the same way. But just take that tip, put it in your cart, save it for a day or 2 days or a week, come back to it and think if you really need it. If it's something that you really need, something that you're thinking about all the time, then buy it for yourself. You know, don't be afraid to treat yourself if you're working really hard, but just be conscious about what you're spending and if it's something that you need versus something that you just want. So I'm just going to kind of recap all of these points and put it into a list of tips for you guys to think about if you are going into teaching or if you are currently a teacher. So my first tip for you guys is to watch how many student loans you are taking out. If it's possible, don't take out any student loans. I understand that's not possible for everybody. So if you have to take out student loans, just try to not take out as much as you can. If you have to get a second job in college and work to pay for your school and for your housing, I wish I did that so badly because now I am paying for it. So huge tip, try not to take out too many loans. Second tip, get a roommate if you can. When you are looking for a place to live on a teacher's salary, it really helps to have someone splitting rent with you. So if you have a boyfriend or a friend, or maybe you don't have any friends, look for someone online. I don't care, just find someone to live with. I promise you, you'll thank me later. My next tip is to have a budget. So, you know, think about exactly how much money you're making monthly and then track your spending. That is so, so important, and it'll really save you by the end of the month when it comes to having that cushion money just for anything that you want to spend, or maybe something happens where your car breaks down and you need to buy, you know, something for your car. And so you have to have money to spend on that. So that's really important as well. My next tip is to look into multiple streams of income. So there are so many ways to make money in this world. Again, look for something that you love to make money off of. It's possible. I know sometimes it doesn't seem possible, but just look into it. Google it. How can I make money from, you know? And so I promise you there are ways. If you put your mind to it, if you manifest that into your life, the money will come flowing. My next tip for you guys is to live below your means. And that, like I just said, is so important. You don't want to get to the end of the month and have no money left. So live below your means. Don't just spend all your money because you have it. And lastly, I forgot to mention this, but this is also a good point, is to start a savings account. So it took me a while to start a savings account, but this past summer I started one. I nannied and I had a second job, so I was able to save up some money, and so that really helps. It definitely adds to that cushion that you have at the end of the month, just in case you know, you definitely don't want to pull money from your savings account to spend it on anything at the end of the month, but in case anything were to happen, an emergency that you need money from your savings, that is definitely helpful, and it always makes me feel better knowing that I have that money saved up. But I also save up money for my future, because I know in the future I'm going to want to buy a house and have a family and all of that stuff, and so I want to start saving money for that. So those are all of the tips and tricks that I have for you guys. Sorry if this video was a little bit all over the place. I really just wanted to sit down and just kind of have a conversation with you, like we're just like two friends talking about money. And so I just wanted to give you guys some advice. If you are a student looking into going into education, it is possible, and you know, if you have the heart for it, go for it. You can do anything you set your mind to, and becoming a teacher is one of the biggest blessings in my life. I am so happy with the decision to become a teacher. I really can't imagine myself doing anything else. I love teaching and I love my life and I love what I do every day. So, you know, money is just a small part of life, and it's not everything. And so it's important to remember that whenever you're going into choosing a career, choose something that you love, something that you look forward to doing every day. And so yeah, that is going to be the end of my little spiel. I just want to say again, I am no expert on this. I am still learning and I'm still young. I'm 24 years old and this is my first time living off of my own salary. So I'm sure there are things that I missed. So again, please leave your advice down below. If you have any advice for other teachers or students of how to live on a teacher's salary, leave it down below. And also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you guys have any other requests for videos similar to these, leave them down below and I'd be happy to film them for you guys. But thanks again for watching. I am so grateful for this family family that we have formed on this channel. I'm so grateful for all of your support and all of you who give me constant love and comments and send me DMs on Instagram. It means so much to me. So thank you again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.